Hello everyone, welcome to my video discussing the different race choices for Warlock in Classic WoW. This video is covering the Alliance race choices and my previous video discussed Horde races, so be sure to check that out. The goal of this video is to discuss the races for Warlock in relation to the new Anniversary realms that are transitioning to TBC and most likely Wrath of the Lich King as well. The focus of this video will be PvP, however PvE will be discussed as well. In the background I have some gameplay footage to keep y'all entertained hopefully, as this audio is recorded separately. But with that said, let's get into the information. So for Classic WoW you have two choices for Warlock, and that is Human and Gnome. As you can see, my Warlock is Orc, but had I played Alliance this time around, I would have gone Human Warlock, and I will discuss why in this video. So starting with Classic, let's look at the impactful ratios for Warlock between Human and Gnome. I will not spend a lot of time discussing less impactful racial differences such as the base stat differences, increased spirit, increased intellect, sword and mace skill, increased reputation gains, or 10 arcane resistance. The main talking point between Human and Warlock is perception for humans versus escape artists for gnomes. So let's start with Human. Let's think about when in PvP you may find use out of perception. Well, of course when fighting rogues and druids. But perception is an on-use stealth detection increase, not passive. So you only gain the benefit of perception if you use it preemptively when you expect a rogue or druid to be near. Some of the times that I find use for perception is when you're defending in Warsong Gulch and you expect the druid is ready to pick the flag. You can use perception to see them before they can reach the flag. This is useful, but you have to have a pretty good idea of where the druid is or when the druid is going for the pick. Also, with your Fell Hunter Paranoia buff that gives stealth detection, you can often see druids before they get too close anyways. Similarly, if you yourself are picking the flag, there are oftentimes rogues defending, and you can pop perception before going for the pick to help knock the rogue out of stealth. However, if you're flag carrying as a Warlock, arguably the worst class to flag carry, something has probably gone wrong in your Warsong Gulch. Another instance I really value perception is when going for the Gorbashi Arena Trinket. I just finished that grind on my Warlock, and it would have certainly been easier if I was Human and could find the rogues that are in stealth waiting for the chest to spawn. But with that said, perception has its use cases, but they are far and few between, and you have to use it beforehand and have a pretty good idea that a rogue or druid is near to make use of it. On the other note, let's look at what gnomes get, being escape artists. This is a 0.5 second cast that removes immobilization and slowing effects on a 1 minute cooldown. This is certainly a nice racial. The low cooldown in particular is what I appreciate with this racial. Though it's probably more useful on a melee class, it's still awesome to break out of druid roots, warrior hamstring to gain distance, concussive shot from a hunter, frost nova from a mage to noise shatter combos, nets, whether it's yours or your opponent that backfires, and many more slows and immobilizes. Definitely a very useful racial. Now that we've gone over the main benefits between Human perception and Gnome escape artist, let's talk about which is better. I would say that overall Gnome is the clear winner for WoW Classic, both in PvP and PvE. Escape artist just has many more applications, and also 5% intellect is better than 5% spirit for Warlock. But now that we discussed Classic WoW, let's look at Gnome and racial changes in TBC, as well as a different environment being in Arena. Human racials actually don't change notably in TBC, but what is notable is Arena, which I will discuss shortly why perception becomes much more useful. Gnome's escape artist does change, however. It gets nerfed in one way and buffed in one way. The buff is that it is now instant cast, no longer a 0.5 second cast. However, the nerf is that it is no longer 1 minute cooldown, but now a 1.57 minute cooldown. Now let's discuss whether Human or Gnome is better in TBC for Warlock. I would say that the advent of Arena definitely influences your decision. In my opinion, unlike Classic, I would say that Human outperforms Gnome in TBC. Perception is unchanged, but with Arena, you will be fighting a lot of rogues and druids, and the closed space along with the awareness that there are rogues or druids makes it so that you can pop perception, and with your Fell Hunter Paranoia buff as well, you can rush in and find rogues and druids very easily. making a human warlock a nightmare for any rogue or druid team to deal with, denying them the opener that they want. Escape Artist is still very nice, but in my opinion it pales in comparison to Perception when fighting any rogue or druid team, which there are going to be a lot of. Finally, assuming that these realms also move into Wrath of the Lich King, let's look at the changes. Gnome first because Escape Artist is unchanged from TBC. It's still a 1.57 minute cooldown, instant cast ability that removes slows and immobilization effects. However, human ratios do change. First, Perception gets changed from an on-use dramatic increase to stealth detection to a passive minor stealth detection increase. This is certainly a nerf and makes human warlocks bearable for rogues and druids. If that was the only change, I would say that Escape Artist is more useful than Perception, but humans gain a new racial that is a 2-minute cooldown that removes all CC effects from your character. It is the exact same effect as PvP Trinket in Wrath of the Lich King. This racial shares cooldown with PvP Trinket, so what this racial allows for is for you to not equip a PvP Trinket, but still have the same ability to break CC. This allows you to wear another trinket when every other race needs to use one of their 2 trinket slots for PvP Trinket. As the expansion moves along and more powerful trinkets get introduced into the game, that makes this racial more and more useful. With that said, I value the nerfed Perception and the ability to basically have an extra trinket more than the Gnome's Escape Artist, and I would choose Human Warlock and Wrath of the Lich King. Overall, if you're making a Warlock in these Anniversary realms, if you value TBC and Wrath of the Lich King Arena, I think Human is the clear choice. In my opinion, Gnome is certainly stronger in Classic, whereas Human is certainly stronger in TBC and Wrath of the Lich King. Personally, with all 3 expansions in mind, if I was playing Alliance, despite how relatively useless human ratios are in Classic for Warlock, I would choose Human for how impactful they are in TBC and Wrath. But thank you for watching the video, and be sure to check out my last video on Horde races. See you in the next video.